for 7,86,385 citizens living among mountains and rivers, floods are recurring realities. Flash floods, swollen rivers and glacial lake outbursts have repeatedly caused destruction. The release of the flood hazard at last 2025 by the National Center for Hydrology, Meteorology raises a critical question: can better planning help communities withstand future floods?
We have developed flood hazard map for each settlement area, and the hazard maps were developed through hydrodynamic modeling using HECRAS. As an input to this model, we need digital terrain model, and for a more accurate result, we used high-resolution digital terrain model, which were obtained using a high-resolution satellite images. And in places where high-resolution satellite images were not available, NCHM conducted drone survey to collect the images. And then, using the past observed data, we calculated return period. So for this, at last, we have used two scenarios: a 20-year return period and a 100-year return period. And in places where there is a risk of glacial lake outburst flood, we have also used the GLOF scenario as an input to the flood hazard map development.
Between 2017 and 2021, 30 floods were recorded, with cyclone 𝐢𝐿𝐈 in 2009 causing 12 deaths and losses exceeding 700 million. Past disasters like the 1994 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐡 glacial lake outburst and the 2024 Dijicholing flash flood shows how sudden storms can overwhelm even urban areas.
But the impending flood risks, NCHM has established an early warning system for the Chamkharchhu basin in 2016, and this was supported by JICA. So the early warning system that we have currently in place is a detection and threshold based system. So which basically means that the system will only be able to detect a flood if there's a flood. We don't have the capacity to forecast it, and then for the monitoring purpose, we have used automatic water level stations. So especially for the Bumtang area, we have 3 automatic water level stations, which will be recording the water level information every 15 minutes. And then if there's a flood, then to warn the people about the flood, we have installed sirens in a very strategic settlement area.
The flood hazard map for Chamkharchhu was developed using 2 scenarios, a 20-year and a 100-year return period. In both cases, Bathpalathang Airport is identified as being at risk, though the extent of inundation differs. Under the 100-year scenario, only a small section of the airport is affected, but as the magnitude rises, both the depth and spread of flooding increase. However, in the event of a GLOF, the entire airport would be submerged, with water depths in some areas exceeding 1.5 meters. Similarly, a flood hazard map has been created for Thimphu. The mapping draws attention to the record flood of 2009 in Lungtenphu caused by cyclone 𝐖𝐢𝐿𝐈, the highest recorded for the area. The hazard map shows the low-lying zones, particularly near the vegetable market and surrounding areas, are vulnerable to inundation. Rainfall between January and July 2025 highlights the ongoing risks. Phunthaling, Sipsu and Bur recorded the heaviest rains, with Phunthaling in 𝐤𝐴𝐻 basin standing out as highly vulnerable. Even drier areas like Paro, Wangdi and Tangmochu remain within the 8 critical flood risk zones, showing that topography and settlement pattern can turn relatively low rainfall into serious hazards. Bjeezam School, located in the flood-prone area, is taking disasters preparedness seriously. Teachers and students are actively engaged in emergency planning, with staff trained and evacuation procedures in place, while students participate in regular drills to ensure they know how to respond when floods strike.
Our school takes the safety of our children very seriously. We conduct regular flood drills so that students can understand or know what to do if the flood occurs. The school also maintains strong communication with parents and local authorities. We have also safe place in higher ground just above the school. If in case the siren rings, the students can calmly go there without rushing.
Flood romachin gashibego. Flood romachin gashibego. Huh? First row. Dijole juk junia. First row kam bedeni dile. Alivistugi gachi instruction gachi jimme gatilu jogoga and susumdalu lejumbe ngenbe you have to follow mo imo.
The Atlas offers a roadmap to resilience, but maps alone cannot prevent disasters. Safety will depend on how quickly planning translates into action and whether 7,86,385 citizens are ready when the river rises again. This is Isha Dalma for Bhutan Today News with cameraman 𝐖𝐭𝐡 𝐁𝐞𝐭𝐡 𝐁𝐞𝐿.